Good morning, everybody. So, before we get going, I want Genevieve to tell us the story of her brilliant Qigong master daughter.
So my brilliant master daughter started running last year in 2024, 2025. Um, and from her own running practice, she told me that she had discovered a pool inside her body, a pool of water that when she was running, she could use to refresh her body from within. So she could refresh her lungs or her legs. Um, and I was like, huh, that's cheap. She's like, I know, but I figured this out for myself. And I was like, right. Um, and then just this past week, we were doing something exhausting. We had one of those days where we were doing errands all day. And at the very last errand, that was a trip to IKEA. And she was exhausted. She's only 11, she's little. And she said to me, I can take water from the pool right now to get energy right now. But if I just take it one time, it doesn't last very long. But if I recirculate it through my body, and she made these gestures like just like forward spinal wave, it lasts longer. And then, so I'm already like, oh my gosh. And then she said, it's just like a water wheel.
Yeah,
And I just love the image of the water wheel.
so
So
do
that's my
I.
daughter.
She's intuitively really bright about this stuff. I have a sketch that was done centuries ago up on the wall here, a reproduction of a sketch that was done by a Qigong master in China 3 or 4 centuries ago. And I think there's a water wheel
It looks like a water wheel. It looks like several.
in it. Here, let me see if I can get it on the.
Well, I can take a picture of it and send it to them, honey, with the camera.
Oh, I think I can.
You're almost there, yeah. Oh, they can't really see it.
I don't know whether I can get any closer. Oh, yeah.
A little bit. Let me see if I can get rid of the.
So it's got a. Turn the light off right underneath it
Yeah.
there.
Oh, it
I'm
might
not.
be. It might. Oh, it's this thing.
Oh,
up
it's the
here,
big one.
honey.
Yeah, we can't get rid of that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, what this is, it's really fascinating. It's a little difficult to see. It's a little difficult to see even when you have it right in front of you. This is a human being. You see the two small circles toward the top, the sun and the moon, all right? Those are the eyes. And if you go down through the body, you're going down through the energy body in the form of just landscapes. So somewhere in there, there are several water wheel like things. One of them right in the middle. I'm sorry that really bright light is is from our uh, sun tube
Skylight,
here. I
yeah.
can't get rid of that. Um, I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can. There's lots of versions of this online. I'll see if I can find it. So not close enough to see very much, but a little bit. And there are us. Okay. Yeah, Genevieve, that kind of stuff, to hear that spontaneously from a child is just it's worth so much more than all the books and ancient things.
And
It's
the
just
yammering that you
and all the yammering that I do. It's just so much more
do.
real.
99 lifetimes. She might be on her 95th
Yes, she
lifetime.
might be right close to there. All right. Oh, that's a great story. Thank you
Yes,
for sharing
thank you
that.
for
Huh?
sharing it.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys.
face hurts, honey.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So everybody here is kind of coming off a tough week. So let's do a little FANGSONG today. Very, very, very gentle exercises. But I want to quiz Genevieve because I want to make sure she knows what FANGSONG means. Genevieve, what does FANG mean? F-A-N-G.
I don't know, but I know it's make relax exercise.
So Fang in fact means to make. All right. Song, which is just S-O-N-G, means relax. And that's, if you were in Master Zhang's Tai Chi classes, you would hear that over and over and over. While we're doing the form, you hear his voice from the side going, song, song, relax. relax, relax. Don't be anxious, relax. And gong is a really interesting word. You can translate it as work, you can translate it as to cultivate, you can translate it as exercises. In other words, it's a word that doesn't quite fit into English the normal way, spelled Gong. So we might just say, in this context, exercises, make relax exercises. But gong is also very interesting because the Cantonese pronunciation of it is kung, as in kung fu, all right? So when you're doing something and you're really, really good at it, you have kung fu. What does fu mean? Fu means excellence. So it means excellence, and in this case, you have to translate kung as practice. Kung fu is excellence of practice. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, you can have kung fu in anything you're doing as long as you have developed it into an excellent practice. So let's do some FANGSONG gong in a kung fu manner. Right? Really, really relaxed.
Reminds me of a water wheel.
Yes, exactly. Shift your weight from foot to foot. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Annie was saying when we started, keep going, follow Annie. Annie was saying when we started this, oh, this is like a water wheel. And that's exactly right. Inside the Dan Shen is going like this. Keep going, follow Annie. I'm going to tell you guys a story. I grew up in the state of Indiana, and in the southern part of Indiana, it's very hilly. It's actually a lot. It's very, very similar to Kentucky. So there are little valleys and kind of mountainous hills, And in one of those valleys, they had years ago, back in the 1830s or something, they had built a grist mill. And it was a beautiful building built of native stone, and it had a big water wheel. And back in the 1940s or 50s, right after the war, they had completely reconstructed it. So it looked like it was brand new. And they moved a lot of pioneer log cabins and things into that little valley to make it a little village. And they had craftspeople in there, and the grist mill still worked. And they would run water. I mean, the wheel was huge. It was as big as a two-story building, and they would bring water in a sluice from a cave underground where a huge stream came out, and it would run that water wheel, and they would grind corn in it, and you could buy yourself a couple pounds of ground corn there. And it's called Spring Mill State Park, and it's one of the most wonderful state parks I've ever been in. But what it always reminded me of was the first big lesson I got in biology at Indiana University, because it wasn't far away from the university. And the lesson was this: your body works exactly like a water wheel. The water comes in on the top, it spins the wheel around, and then after the water is dropped down, it flows in the stream off into the distance. Well, what does that have to do with your body? The water coming in is the fresh food and the fresh oxygen and all the stuff you need to live. And as that drops through the water wheel, that's what runs your body. And then the waste is eliminated out, and it just goes out and maybe runs other things. Right? So Genevieve, your daughter's idea of a water wheel really hit me hard, because that's exactly what it is. And when you do an exercise like this, you can feel it. You can feel the water turning that wheel. And when we would go to that park, I always like to go into the grist mill and watch all the pieces move, because these were built by pioneers. Nothing was made of steel or iron. It was all wooden. All the big gear wheels and everything were wooden. The only thing that wasn't wooden were the actual grindstones, which were native limestone. And they were quite large. But I also like to spend a lot of time outside. I would just stand to the side and kind of lean on the railings and just watch the wheel go around and around and around. There was something really kind of hypnotic, and I wouldn't have thought of the word back then, but it was healing. Just to watch that wheel turn. Big wheel. Now you'll have to think of Tina Turner. Big wheel turning. And reverse.
like that one, because you can really feel the energy hit the ground, honey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one to end on too, I think. Grounds you again. So we're going to clear the chakras, and I've been meaning to give you guys a little more information about this, so this seems like a good day to do it. The chakras and the dantians are not exactly the same thing. They're kind of the same thing. The difference is the dantians are considered to be more storage places, where the chakras are considered to be more doorways or windows, portals. The truth is, both of them are both. It depends on what you're doing with them. The clearing exercise that we do all the time works both ways. Personally, with my very peasant-like imagination, I always think of it as just blowing the dust out of your chakras. The chakras, the dantians in this case, open toward the back, not toward the front. So they're all associated with the spinal column. The crown chakra, the third eye, the larynx or throat, the heart, what we call the dantian proper, the second chakra, and the root chakra. All of them open backward. So there are many ways you can play with them. The way we're playing with, or the way I'm playing with them when we do this, is, we can start with the crown chakra, is to just open that. So it's open to the world. And then, I'm going to reach up and grab 2 big handfuls of cosmic chi and breathe it into the crown chakra, give it a moment to then spread out and fill every part of my body, and then blow it back out. So what I'm doing is I'm dusting everything, right? And then the third eye, and then the throat. So the air, the chi is coming in from the back, and it's being blown out the back. Pay attention when you do this. Pay attention to the color of the chi that comes in. You don't have to necessarily make it be a color, just watch for the colors. Watch for the temperature. Watch for any feelings that you have. Watch for tension in the body. This is a great way to just blow the tension out of your body. All right? Let's go on down to the heart. And now, the dantian, right below the navel proper. To get this one, you have to pay attention. I'm gonna ask Annie to come over here and turn her back to the screen. All right? You have to pay attention to what are called the loins. So the place right under the ribs, the big muscly places here, when you breathe in, all right, in the dantian proper, feel those, and boom, blow out from those, and boom, you feel energy come up. Now the second chakra, when you do that, it's down lower than the loins. So what I do is feel into my hips and down the bones of my legs, and then I come up the 2 columns of the legs and the muscles all the way to the shoulder, right? And then you've only got the root chakra left. The root chakra, like the crown chakra, touches actually everything in the spinal column. You're actually built like a tube, right? This is, the mouth is one end of the tube and the anus is the other end of the tube. What you're doing is bringing energy into the tube at the bottom, all the way up to the top of the head, and then blowing it all out again, right? So you've just given yourself a good internal dusting. Let's do it again all the way from the top. And touch the earth. And close your pores. Salute our masters. And salute your classmates. Thank you, everyone. If you're going to stay for Tai Chi, give me until 1/4 the hour. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Ciao.